Hey, how's it going, guys? It's your retro future boy, Ricky Sommer here, and today I've come back in time to play and talk about X4 Foundation. Strap yourselves in, guys. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Stick around to the end of the video, because I'm gonna be giving away a free copy of X4 Foundations on GOG, DRM free. That's right, that's two frees in the same sentence. That is what we in the biz refer to as a bargain. Alright, so I have gotten the game working. It took a minute, it did, and I've played about maybe 7-8 hours, and it took 6 hours to actually get into it. So we're going to have a little discussion here about the state that the game is in, the positive and the negative, my thoughts on it, and I'm going to slowly make my way in the world today over to my little mining ship here. So you will have to forgive any stuttering or jerking that's going on, especially in the menu here. That's not actually happening in game. The game just refuses to capture in any sane way. So I'm having to do window capture, display capture, but for some reason it makes the map jerk around. So you're seeing it, I'm not. How you doing? Okay, so I've got a miner here set to auto mine, which is kind of nice. We'll talk about that in a second. So it's just mining on its own and a silicon at the moment, and it's selling it automatically, which I love. That's quintessential X, right? That's the X series I love. Get my miners working for me. You know how it goes. So I'm making a decent amount of money. I'm going to be able to afford another ship soon. So in the interest of that, let's just jump into buy ship real quick, because I want to show you the buying ship interface, which is one of the positives. So on the whole, let me give you my just one sentence. It's all right. It's okay. Look, it's better than the state that X Rebirth was in, but it still needs some work. For me, currently it's playable, performance-wise, just as I suspected. It's kind of very not good. But the way I'm playing it is not like I'm not very much into being in the cockpit and flying around. I want to set up my miners working for me. I want to set up a corporation, and for the moment, for the most part, we're doing that. Okay, so let's have a look at the ship interface here. I'm going to buy a small ship, maybe a small miner if we can afford it, so we can get that second miner going. I don't anticipate it's going to make a lot of money, but let's do it. Okay, so I kind of like this. This is an improvement. So we can see the model of the ship, and we can scoop around on it. We can actually click on these hard points here and select what we want to put there. So like weapons and turrets and engines and that kind of stuff. But what's even better than that is the fact that you've got this menu on the side, which clearly shows red means you need it. You haven't installed it and you need it. And you can't, I don't think you can buy the ship unless you put in, for example, an engine. So we're just going to do like the absolute cheapest shit right here, because we've only got $250,000 credits. I think I just made almost 100,000 from like one shipment of silicon with my miner. So I'm feeling good about this. I feel like I'm starting to get into the point where you buy one miner or buy one trader, and suddenly it makes enough money for you to buy a second one, and then it makes enough money for you to buy a third one, and you just keep ramping up, and it gets quicker and quicker, and before you know it, you got a big mining empire or a big trade empire. That's what I'm into. So a small thruster we also require. Or just a thruster. Let's grab the cheapest one possible. Shield generator. Let's put it on. It's not too expensive. I'm also going to throw on a mining drill because we require it. This particular model here, this courier miner. And I am in the Argon ship dock. You'll see in a second. So this will be an Argon ship. My other miner is of Taladi design. I love the Taladi, man. I'm all about them profits. Okay, and let's grab the software. So, of course, mandatory. This is great. It's very, very clear. I can't say as much for every aspect of the game, but the ship building here, the ship purchasing and outfitting is very clear, and I like it. So we need flight assist, and we require long-range scanners. I'm just going to cheap out with the cheapest one there, and we need an object scanner software. So I'm just gonna, again, the most basic one, and that's it. We can have like consumables, satellites and that kind of stuff, but I got a few on my personal ship, and we need a pilot. I like this. This is one thing that I always wished X3 in all its forms, Reunion, Terran Conflict, Albion Prelude, I always wish it had a pilot system. And they introduced it in X Rebirth, but it was trash. Well, it just didn't work like most everything in the game. Okay, so the pilot system and the crew system, for the most part, what little I've played with it, seems to work here, and I like it. It's good, it's clear. So we've got a pilot, we need a pilot, we've done it. Okay, so how much is this going to cost? 177,000 credits. We have $250,000. So let's add to shopping cart, and then we can buy another ship if we want. We're not going to because I can't afford it. But let's confirm. Fantastic. How you doing? What up? Okay, so then we can go to the map here, which is going to bug out because of how the game wants to capture. And we can see right there the courier is building. It's going to take a minute. So we don't need to be in the system for us to actually tell it to do stuff. So I'm just going to leave. Where am I going to go? So I'm going to make... Oh, yeah, it's going. I can see it. I can see it freaking out in on my second monitor, my OBS display. Sorry about that, guys. There's really nothing I can do about it. Okay, so I've selected my ship, which is the Elite Vanguard here. I'm at Argon Prime, all the way over here. And I'll tell you one thing. I think I like how the sectors are laid out, you know? You've got a combination of the old school jump gates, which, by the way, have no loading screen. It's instant jump to the, like, like, seriously. It's an instant jump from one sector to the next. It's beautiful. No wonder the game runs like trash, like a one-legged cow with an engorged testicle. Because I guess it's... I mean, yeah, I know, my mind is blown. I would have expected there'd be a load screen between there, but it's like, it's instantaneous. It really, really is. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so I want to go over to Grand Exchange 1, which is where a little something is that might be a little bit of a spoiler, and where my miner is. So I'm just going to like set a waypoint, start guidance to that position, right? And you can see... Is it taking me the long... No, okay, it's taking me down here. Is there actually really no direct path through there? No, that can't be right. I can get through... I can... But why are you doing... Savage. Let's set guidance over here, and we'll have to go through manually through the shortest path. That's a little weird. Yeah, sometimes the guidance and the autopilot leaves a little bit to be desired. So that should be fine. Now we can undock. And I'm going to turn the FPS on. You probably won't be able to see it. It's so small, but 45. There you go. 30 as we start looking at things. Yeah, okay. So I got performance monitor over on my second, just like the task manager performance monitoring thing tab open on my second monitor. Interestingly enough, it's like it doesn't tax my CPU at all. My CPU does not give a shit about this game. It's like, you running something, bro? Don't even trip. And it seems to be more an issue, like the slowdown is when you look at a lot of objects that have to be rendered, so the GPU is having a bit of a hard time. At the moment, we're at 60 because we're not looking at anything. So there you go. Probably would have been higher, but I have limited the frame rate. So... There does need to be some optimization done here because the GPU isn't even at max. Anyway, that's enough. We're not going to talk about performance anymore. So one of the things I like here is we've got ship modes, and we can get to them from a few different ways here. We can press enter, and it's like brings up your main, hey, this is everything here. So we got like pilot information. We can select like a logo. Oh, okay. So this menu is freaking out too. Yeah, see how it's flickering around? That's not actually happening. That's just in the capture because the game hates it. They don't want anyone to see it, essentially. That's what's going on. So you can select stuff here. You can change your name and check out your net worth and whatnot. There's an arrow to the knee logo. Okay. So there's modes here, travel mode, scan mode, long range scan mode. So one of the things I really like is the travel mode. So the game does have CETA. So for those of you who either don't remember or have never played X3, what am I doing? Is this where I want to, hang on, is that, right, okay. So what I was saying before is we've got like proper old school jump gates. We've got like the highway, the super highways. Can I get in there, buddy? Is this where I want to go? Okay, no, we're good now. I got autopilot on now and we're good to go. And then we got like these slipstream, I'm not sure what you call these. What are these called? Jump gate? That's a jump gate. So this is quite an interesting route in that we got these like micro highways that actually send you through the jump gate. Check it out. Instantaneous. And now we're in... we've moved from there to there instantaneously. I'm actually really surprised they managed to pull that off. That's kind of cool. Okay. Let's get that autopilot back on. So what was I saying? Travel mode. Yeah, so I'm going to turn that on now. Yeah, so the game does have SATA, which is the time dilation, basically speeding up time thing. But it seems like it's not easy to get. Like, you've got to actually craft it, and I think there's something to do with, like, salvaging something from Xenon, which are just all-round bad guys. So that's going to be fun. So you haven't got it by default, but they have included travel mode, which basically allows you to keep accelerating. I don't know how like, if it's forever, if you just keep accelerating until you're going like mad speeds, but you can, as you can see, we're going very, very fast. It's 2,520 something, I assume meters per second, which is a lot faster than the ship's default of 180. And that's because I got travel mode on, which is great. So I really like that. That's a nice little quality of life addition. Oh, there you go. That just makes travel less tedious, and I appreciate that. So you've also got scan mode and long range scan mode, and you need scan mode in order, like, you need to scan stations to find missions, and I kind of hate that. Why can't we just have a bulletin board like the old days? But honestly, I don't know why they did that. I wish I knew. Okay. Can I set guidance over here? Yeah, okay, it looks like we can. So let me set the autopilot on again. Autopilot seems to work for the most part, but sometimes it stalls. And it's hard to say if, yeah, like, why? What's going on now? Like, we're going fast, but we're stuck. I don't know. Sometimes you need to turn it off and say, hey, yo, buddy. Just, like, go over there. So, again, from X Rebirth, we've got the boost, default on tab, which speeds up your ship by draining your shields. So that's kind of nice for if you just need like a quick boost to get out of the station real quick. Like, oh, my frames are... I'm playing 20 FPS here. I need to get out of here. Boost. That's why I use it. Speaking of controls, I tried setting up my HOTAS. I've got a Thrustmaster T16000 HC, whatever it's called. The Thrustmaster HOTAS, the orange one. It works, but then the game's like, hey, yeah, but you can't share control with a mouse. So whenever I use the mouse, then the HOTAS stops working, and then I have to like waggle it for 5 seconds for it to start working. It's very annoying. And then it just stopped detecting it altogether. I tried a controller, but there's really not enough buttons. And it still has that issue of use a controller and then you use the mouse and the controller stops working. So I've resorted to just using mouse and keyboard, and it's fine. It's all right. It's fine. There you go. Okay, so we making any progress here? Let me turn on travel mode. Let's get through this gate real quick. What are our funds looking like? They scoshing back up a second? Hang on. Let me actually go to the map here, and I'll click on the courier. So the way you give commands this time around, and I'm sorry if I'm not explaining things. I'm kind of, for the most part, I'm assuming previous knowledge of the X series. To a certain extent, because otherwise, like, man, this video could just be way too long. So just real quick, previously you would click on, not necessarily click, but like you'd essentially one of your ships and give it a command. Now you click on it and you context right click on something, so it's a little more RTS like, which isn't bad. I'm getting used to it now. But that's okay. I mean, some of these commands are pretty convoluted. I actually think... Hey, Rick, what's up? Why is it convoluted? It's convoluted because it feels like half of it is done through right clicks and half of it is done through, like, commands, like the way X3 was, you know? And at least X3 was like, it's all done by comming the ship and through commands, and that's fine. This is a little bit all over the place, and it's like, what do you want me to do, buddy? I don't know. Okay, so where is my ship? It's... Hang on, where's the courier? Where are you, buddy? You're over there? Okay. I need to find, like, where are we going to find asteroids? I mean, well, they're right here. I'm looking at asteroids around myself. So, let's send it over here. Actually, you know what we should do? No, not like that. See, this is what I'm talking about, right? We could right-click and say, hey, buddy, mine. And then select resource. And that's kind of nice. This is very cool. However... What we really want to be doing is pressing I okay, to go into its I don't know if I'm lagging here. I probably am. Who knows? It's entirely the game. Trust me. It so badly does not want to be captured ever. It's like, nah, buddy, get out of here with your frames. Okay, so we've pressed I to go into the information of the ship, and we can like see personnel, check out the pilot and how good they are at certain things, and the storage and the crew, so on and so forth. So we're going to go into the second tab here, behavior. And we're going to set up default behavior, which means whenever... Oh, wow, the pilot skills 4? Oh, listen. So default behavior is whenever the ship is not doing something, whenever it's finished its previous command or it's just sitting around doing nothing, it's going to do this default behavior. So I'm going to set it to automine. I don't know, maybe... ice, but we'll see. It looks like I'm seeing ice around here, so we'll just take a stab at that. We'll take a gamble here, and let's set its max jump distance to 26 here. It's maximum, so we'll, you know, have a really big range to play around. And let's confirm. And then let's see if it does anything. You know, so we might have to. It might do something. Yeah, okay, it's moving. It's moving. It's doing something. It's got to auto mine. Whether it actually finds anything, I guess we'll find out. So this is where the game's kind of currently in an awkward state. Because we don't know a lot of things and the tutorial is actually trash. I know I'm being pretty hard on it. I'm being hard on it because I love the series, right? And I want it to be good. And it could have been a lot worse. Like, if you compare the launch of X4 Foundations to X Rebirth, it's not even a comparison, dude. X Rebirth was a dumpster fire. Okay. Hey, yes. So this is certainly playable, but we're in an awkward situation where it's like you give a ship a command, and it's like, did I do it wrong? Because no one's told me how to do it. There's no tutorial of, like, I don't think there's a mining tutorial, for example. So, did I do something wrong, or is the game bugged? I don't know, and you just don't have that feedback at all. You just don't know. But I think for the moment, I think I've figured it out. I have got my guys auto mining. It's working. You can see that he's gone into the slipstream there. So that's fantastic. Where's he going? We don't know. We don't know where he's going. Is he going over here? I think he's going to Black Hole Sun. Assuming, or is that my waypoint? It's a little hard to tell. I don't know. Let's trust him. We'll see what happens. So let's go over to our Manarina over here. And what are you up to, buddy? What are you up to, huh? What do you got for me? So let's have a look down here. It is loading up on silicon. So it's mining. You can see that that's an asteroid right there. Pretty sure that's an asteroid. So it's just mining silicon and selling it. So fantastic. We can just leave it to its own devices. So let's get out of the map there and get to a view that will not glitch out on camera. And I'll turn on my travel again. So, okay. Yes. Hi, hello. Is the game fun? Oh, man. Like I said, it took about 6 hours for it to become fun. It was a chore. It was. And I think that's kind of an issue with the X series as a whole, possibly. You know, when you're confined to one ship, it's boring, man. Now X Rebirth is a different beast because it tried to make the one ship thing its whole shtick, and it tried to flesh out that one ship, and you could own other ships and give them commands. I'm not talking about, you know, that you have to fly all ships. I'm saying you need an empire. You don't like the, actually, let me know if anyone's like a veteran of the X series. Does anyone actually play it without owning more than one ship? Surely not. I mean, the game is meant to be like an empire building, fleet building kind of affair, so I'd never even thought of that, like, you know. So anyway, so my point is, like, the first few hours of the game, and in my case, first 6 hours, and that included, you know, a couple of different starts and trying to figure out settings. I am playing on low, by the way, which doesn't bother me because I don't think Ultra looks that good, you know, compared to low. So I guess that's potentially a plus in the game's favor. So yeah, it took me about 6 hours to go through the plot. Now the plot is kind of hidden. It's It's hidden, but not. It's really not hard to find. Really not hard to find. But it doesn't throw you. It doesn't throw it in your face, right? So I found the plot, went along that, got some money, and then something happened. I'm not going to spoil it, and hopefully you're not going to see what I'm talking about when I get to this sector and thus be spoiled. But you know, if we do, I'll cut it out. So something happened early on in the plot, and that was it. I was like, okay, this is an X game now, and we're having fun. This is good. So I got my first ship, my first proper ship that the plot didn't tell me to get, the miner. It's doing its own thing. It's automating, and I'm like, okay, yeah. This is now we're playing X4. It's good, yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see where we go with this, because in my mind, that's what X is all about. It's like Factorio in space, you know. It's all about automation, and building up that fleet. And I really liked how easy it was to buy a new ship and outfit it. There wasn't any fumbling around with that. I really liked that I could auto mine straight off the bat, and I didn't require like mining economics software Mark III or something, which was a little bit of a quirk of the X3 games in all their variations. There were 3 X3s, ironically. Yeah, you would have to like, it's like, hey, I want to do this. Oh, when are you going to get software for it first? Well, give me the software, you bastard. But yeah, that doesn't seem to be that much of an issue here. So I really like that. It feels, yeah, a little more accessible, and without, I think, without robbing itself of what makes it X. And yeah, I think for those of you who do get a bit of a superior feeling out of like, yeah, I'm playing an X game, man. You know, the learning curve, like this, you know. Which I don't necessarily agree with. I don't think they're that difficult. They just don't explain themselves very well, really. So there you go. Where am I? What is happening right now? Where am I? This is not where I want to be. Can we? Hey, how you doing? Who is that? That's my little miner. Hey, at least it's going places. Let's get over there, buddy. Let's get over there. So yeah, it's still obtuse enough for your EPing to feel bolstered, I think, once you actually get the hang of it. And you do need to get the hang of it, make no mistake. It's not so much, you kind of need to learn the language of X, really. That's what it is. It's like learning a language. And in this case, it's a little awkward because, like I said, it's partially intuitive, right-click and context menu, and partially you have to delve into options that the game doesn't tell you about in order to set behaviors, for example. But, you know, once I understood that, and I did have to look it up, I did have to Google how, you know, auto mining, or, you know, I actually Googled, you know, X4 Foundation's miner selling ore or something like that, you know, and then I found out about auto mining. Once you know that that's there, it's not a problem. Just the game doesn't tell you, man. And I do like, you know, when the autopilot works, I do like going from place to place, and I like the spectacle of going through the jump gates. It feels nice. It makes me feel like a man. And you know, you got other little niceties here, like the ability to and I'm pretty much mostly default keys here, but I'm going like shift and middle mouse, and I can look around. That's nice. I like that. I like that there are cockpits now, which we had in X Rebirth. And it was a mod for X3 Reunion and Terran Conflict and Albion Prelude. But yeah, that's another thing. Like if you're unfamiliar with the X games, they're fairly synonymous with being heavily modded. You know. Now I don't know how I don't know what this engine is compared to like the old one. But I'm pretty sure there's a fair few mods for Rebirth, and I'm excited to see, you know, what kind of dank modding potential we can get with X4 here. Okay, so where are we? Are we there yet, buddy? You know what? I'm gonna cut ahead to our destination, and we're back. Hey, look! So I want to show you my little mining ship here. We can actually check out some external camera views. I like the ships. I like that you can see the little turret right there. The little turrets, those are functional, you know. Have given it little defensive turrets. It's got a mining laser on the front there. Hang on, did I give it defensive turrets or mining turrets? Can't quite remember. but it's just going off into the gate network. Off to sell some silicon, I think. And in the time it took to get here, which was about 4 or 5 minutes, you know, it has been making money. We can have a look here. Now, we're now almost back up to $250,000. This is great. I feel like in the X3 games, it would have taken so much longer for my miners to be profitable. So I like it. I like that at the moment, it seems, for the moment, despite the fact that the game still does have very obtuse elements, it feels like the barrier to entry is lowered a little bit. In previous X games, you would have to do mission upon mission upon mission to get any capital in order to start your empire going. And now it seems like, hey, just do a little bit of the plot. You can buy a miner or a trader, and you can just get going. And I love that. It would have been nice if it didn't take 6 hours to get there. I'm sure you can do it quicker if you know, if you're not faffing about. But it's great. I really like that. So, you know, we can also have a look at the external view of our own ship. So pro tip here for those who may be perplexed. So we go back to F1 here is the cockpit view. If we press F2 to do external view, it's just behind the ship. If you press it again, then you can move the camera around. And I've bound this to the arrow keys, but I think it's normally the numpad, I think, but I haven't got a numpad. So arrow keys suit me fine, and you can zoom in and out. And isn't that fantastic? Jesus, overcompensating with our gun, buddy. Okay, so there you go. So we can go back to our little miners here, and we can check up on him. Just double click and see what he's doing. That's great, you know. How you going over there, buddy? He's slowly loading up on ice. I don't know how much he's going to sell that for. We can actually check the system here. It looks like there's nowhere to sell ice in the system, so we will actually have to go to another sector. Now, I'm not sure what these are called. Like, what's the big hexagon called as opposed to the small one? I don't know. System, sector. Yeah, maybe the big ones are system, small ones are a sector. I'm just spitballing here. I really honestly don't know. All right, look. So there you go. All right, so I did promise you a copy of the game. GOG has furnished me with a copy of X4 Foundations, but I already purchased it. So I said, take it back, give it to someone else. They said, just keep it, give it to a friend or something. So I'm going to give it to one of you guys. So in the comments down below, post, hey, Retro Boy, so I know that you want the copy. And then tell me what you would do with your grand space empire. No limits, the most creative answer will get the key. It's a GOG key. Just to reiterate, GOG is easy to set up. It's free. It's DRM free. It's the future, baby. So let me know. Hey, Retro Boy. And then what are you going to do with your grand space empire? What does it look like? Does it look like the empire? Are you going to do galactic dominance? Or you going to be a big old mining corporation? Some kind of dystopian cyberpunk corporate future situation? Wayland Yutani, you're gonna import aliens from LV, whatever that number was. You're gonna really terrorize Ripley for like 4 movies. I want to know, buddy. But for the moment, guys, thank you very much for watching. Taste the game, be excellent to each other, and I'll see you next time. Ricky Summer, out.